four.
Right.
Look at people who are being funded big dollar promotions. They're good guys. All the
Right.
bad guys are not being given jobs anymore. Look at the directors
Right.
that have disappeared. Some of the great directors, great in the sense of creativity, they're not even doing adverts anymore. So what's happened is a change which looks normal to the public. But if you live on the strip, or you know people, you're thinking, well, that wasn't empty yesterday. I haven't seen her at the latest dinner party for 3 days, 4 days. What's going on?
And that's what
The
I'm hearing.
reality is, of course, but it's not going to be advertised. Even the
But
bloody
see, that's a
newspaper.
big letdown for someone like my family. I mean, my audience, people that really have been in the
Yep.
trenches, watching this
Yes.
go down the last not just 4 years, 8 years, who've been
Yes.
awake, that have
More.
been promised justice, and now it's just
Yes.
going to fall flat.
Okay.
They're
Okay.
pissed
Hold it.
off. They're going to be
Hold it.
pissed.
Hold it. Hold it. Who promised them
The
justice?
QAnons did.
Right. So not the Pentagon.
No, not you're right. Not
Right.
the Pentagon.
Right.
And
So
that's
that's the point, isn't it?
yeah.
Because if people say, "Hey, there was never a redemption center. I never got my $1 billion," I thought, and you say, "Well, who told you that?" Well, it was this commentator, that commentator. Yeah, but no real person told you, did they? No.
Correct.
And the point is that there has been a huge disinformation operation for God knows what reasons. But the fact of the matter is that none of the official people ever pushed that story across. Okay, is there a Q operation? Absolutely, it's Scottsdale in Arizona. Okay, 100%. But they don't speak for the president. They don't speak for the Pentagon. They don't speak for anyone, and they created this. And that's why I've consistently over the 4 years said there will be no stock market crash, there will be no worldwide EBS, there will be no this, that, and the other, because I talk to people who aren't playing games, and
So
the
that was a
audience knows.
psyop. The EBS, the stock market crash,
No,
all
no,
that
it
was
could it could have been just some 14-year-old spotty kid creating it, sending it round, and before you know it, 50 people who are influencers have picked up on it and taken it away with it.
So when you say Scottsdale area, that's Austin Steinbart. That's what you're talking about. That's who's
Well,
part of the Q.
I'm just going to say Scottsdale. That's what I'm going to say to you,
Okay,
Scottsdale
but
in
that's
Arizona.
what he was affiliated with, correct?
Well, yeah, but that's not the real Q movement. The real Q movement was quantum computer in Scottsdale. Okay, that's the real Q movement. We had somebody here, Becky and I, who was incredibly high up in the Q movement. I'm not going to say any more than that. Incredibly high up in the queue. It came to this house and spent 3 hours with us. Well, she's just here. She spent 3 hours with us. Someone from Marine Naval Intelligence, US intelligence, came to this house and spent 3 hours with us, and said to me, and I quote, "Simon, we don't, where I come from, we don't do application forms. I've come here to see you and your wife and see if you really are the man we think you are." And that person spent 3 hours here. That person had just come from President Trump on Air Force One. Um, so what I'm saying to you is that I don't know who's behind all this, but I certainly know the people who really are pulling the strings. And the reality is that if people knew a lot, it wouldn't necessarily empower them, because the job's been done 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay, I think your video just went off for some reason.
Oh yeah, sorry. I'll put that back. Hang on. Yeah, it's when the dog jumps up and down on me. I have a dog. We have more than one dog, but it just gets.
But you would say the Q intelligence, the Q drops were military, right?
Yes,
The
some of
post
them were.
that was it naval, or what part of the military was in charge of
Right.
that?
All right. Do you remember the Q drops would be 3, 4 years, and suddenly they would all happen?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
Okay. Well, you either got to believe there's a really lovely, marvelous gypsy lady that sits there with a crystal ball, or it's quantum technology, which I've told you about, which allowed them to project 3, 4 years, 5, 6, 7 years ahead. So all that technology allowed to see what would happen at what time, at what place, and that was then fed to somebody, and that was then put out. So
Gotcha.
that part of it's true
So it was like
because they were
future
saying,
proofs past type of thing. They were using the quantum technology to dictate the black hat's moves and have the correct chess move in alignment for that, right? In
well,
position for that move.
there were 6 dirty nuclear bomb suitcases, which were 25 years old. And they were so in a bad state of repair that even if you tried to dismantle them, they would have exploded. They were absolutely falling apart. And the special quantum technology was able to know where they were, when they would be there in the future. And so they were intercepted and got.
One was supposed to blow in Seattle, correct?
Well, there were 2 captured in Australia.
Wow. So this was going to be a worldwide uh, nuclear detonation in different countries. I know I have heard that one was in Seattle in America, correct? Am I right in saying that?
I'd be surprised that it wasn't to be detonated in Seattle. My understanding was it was being stored in Seattle because Seattle is a very deep state, or was a very deep state area. You may know, the audience may know, that Seattle was the very first, the police force in Seattle were the very first police force to take FEMA on ride along. So literally FEMA were on ride along. It's the very first. So no, I don't think it's going to blow up, but it was stored there. Yeah, there's this stuff that so many people are not aware of, but were just dealt with, and then you move on to the next issue.
Folks, get ready for part 2. We're gonna do a part 2, right, Simon?
Yeah, do you want to do it? Do you want to do it now?
No, my ass hurts. My back and my ass.
Listen, I love you very much, right? I love your audience, and I do mean it. God bless America. I'm really, really proud of what America's doing.
Thank you.
And it's great to talk to you. And sometimes the realities of a political situation run hard up against what our heart calls for. Our heart calls out for justice, but the hard reality of running a country, not just a country, the biggest, best country in the world, sometimes those things can't always happen. And all I've tried to do is to inject that type of understanding into this debate. It doesn't mean for 1 minute I don't want that. I want full truth, full disclosure, but you ain't going to get it. Okay.
Thank you, Simon. Simon, I'll keep in touch with you and I'll bring you on again in the next few weeks. Is that good?
Oh, don't forget, send a link through so that guys can get my website, hit the link, come through and watch it on your site.
Beautiful. So I'll send it to the email that I have.
Yeah. Carol sort of has been in touch. You can do it through her. Yeah.
Okay, you got it, Simon. Thank you.